Do you ever think back and do you ever get any of the imposter syndrome? Like, do you ever get that feeling like, how did I end up here? And
I still don't think I deserve to be here. I mean, they like, oh, the veteran Hendriks is back. I'm like, I don't feel like a veteran. I've been tricking people the entire time. Like, at some point, the other shoe's going to drop, and I'm just going to be, everyone's going to realize who I am.
How are you going, mates? Welcome to the Top Step presented by Warrior Injury Law. If you're injured, contact attorney Rob Inns at 253-WARRIOR. Battle tested. All right. Today we have one of those episodes that just kind of hits a little different, especially me. We've got Liam Hendriks, who three-time All-Star. You know who he is. Crazy story. He's coming up after the break. But before we get into everything, make sure you go and subscribe to the show at the Top Step TV over at YouTube. Go subscribe over at YouTube. Like the channel and join the TTS community all season long. We've got bonus content. I've got all my breakdowns over there, the extended interviews, everything. Go at the Top Step TV. Go subscribe. Okay, so I'm excited to have my three-time All-Star buddy Liam Hendriks, fellow Aussie, joining the show for some laughs and some epic stories, epic moments. But before we get to Liam, look, we saw Logan Evans make his Major League debut. The story is pretty amazing. He's a long shot. We know that. Look at the college numbers. Turns himself into a prospect. Next thing you know, Sunday afternoon, he's pitching on a Major League field. All right, so I love the journeys for multiple reasons. And that's what brings me to this week's Eyes on the M's, brought to you by King LASIK. Hey, mates, if you're ready for freedom of hassling with glasses and contacts, do what I did. Go to King LASIK. It was the best decision I ever made for my eyes. The procedure was easy. It was over in 15 minutes. So start with a free Zoom consult at kinglasik.com. So sometimes it's easy to forget that every player, all your favorite players who step onto the Major League field for the first time, they all carry an unbelievable story. Not just the superstars. We hear all about them. Not just the first-round picks. All of them. And the truth is, it's a long shot to even make it. It really is. We always hear about the first-rounders, right? These big-time college kids, the bonus babies, and even they, the guys at the very top, only have about a 66% of making it to the big leagues, ever touching a Major League mound or a field. Think about that. You're a top pick. You're a first-round pick. We hear all about them, especially now. And still, there's 1 in 3 chance you don't make it. Then you slide past the 12th round. And this is where it starts getting crazy. Man, the odds are absolutely brutal. Only about 10 to 13% of players drafted after the 10th round ever get the taste of the big leagues. That's not just beating the odds. That's absolutely smashing the odds. And that's why today it feels so special, because this week we watched Logan Evans, a 12th round draft pick, make his Major League debut. Now, if you don't know his story, Logan had a rough college career. You just got to go look at the numbers. But some scouts, some analysts in the Mariners system said there is stuff. There's stuff there. Maybe, just maybe, he could get to the big league. So, hey, let's get him in the 12th round. It's not a real high-risk pick. Now, by the numbers, almost nobody from that range, we're talking 10th round up, they never make it, right? It's like a 10% chance of making it. And yet, there he was out there Sunday afternoon, just a few years removed from a 6 ERA in college. Man, unreal. Pitching on a Major League mound, it gave me chills. We saw the family, the emotions. Because, look, I get it. I signed as a teenager for a tiny little bonus. No fanfare, no guarantees. I rocked up. My name was spelt wrong on the back of my jersey. And when you come from somewhere like Australia, the odds are even longer. I hate to say it, they just are. Do you know how many Australians have ever made it to the majors? Only 38 ever. Out of millions. It's taken over 100 years to get to 38, by the way. So in Australia, you have like 1 in a 750,000 chance of just getting to the big leagues, right? So maybe 1 or 2 flying the flag of our country each year, by the way, too. There's always 1 or 2 on each roster. Curtis Mead and obviously Liam Hendriks, who we're going to talk to in a minute. And that's why sitting at Fenway Park the other day was a surreal moment with Liam Hendriks sitting right next to me. One of those rare Aussies, one of those rare humans, period. Think about his journey. Wow. Anyone who's been through some tough times on any level can relate. Liam wasn't some golden child either. He was designated for assignment 4 times early in his career, before his career even took off. Teams said he wasn't good enough. He kept proving them wrong. He had to change everything he did when he was getting later on in his career. And look, all of a sudden, then he gets established. And then what happens? He gets cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 4. Liam didn't just beat cancer, by the way. He was back throwing 95 miles an hour like 6 months later. You know how hard that is to do. And now, just 18-month rehab from Tommy John surgery, another mountain to climb, and still here he is, laughing, smiling, telling me stories, as we'll hear in just a minute at Fenway Park, like 2 kids who still can't believe they made it. I'm telling you right now, moments like that, sitting there with a fellow Aussie who's overcome everything, it makes you pause, it makes you grateful. Because this game, look, it's unforgiving. It's full of heartbreak, failure, and plenty of second guessing. But for the few, the ones who scratch and claw, who ignore the odds, who bet on themselves, baseball will reward you. Maybe not how you planned, maybe not by the way you dreamt it up as a kid, but if you keep fighting, if you trick yourself just enough that everything's okay, you give yourself a chance for a moment like that. The Logan Evans debut, Liam Hendriks comeback, or a Rowland-Smith chance. This game isn't just built by first rounders. It's built by the long shots. It's built by guys who refuse to quit when everyone told them to pack it in. And today, that journey, that underdog spirit and that fight, that long shot, this is what makes this game so special, and it makes it so relatable. We've all been through it. All right, that's your Eyes on the Ends, brought to you by King Lasik. Coming up, a conversation you don't want to miss if you've ever been through some tough times and you can now all of a sudden come out the other end and laugh. One of the toughest, most inspiring athletes I know, fellow Aussie and Major League All-Star Liam Hendriks. Stay tuned, you're on the Top Step.
Olympic Hot Tub is proud to feature endless pools, swim spas designed for swimming, staying fit, and entertaining at home year-round. More information about unlocking your potential at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Cindy, who was T-boned by a truck.
I was stopped in a left turn lane. A big black truck slammed into my left side. I called Warrior Injury Law, and I was very pleased. They really do care about you, and they care about your situation. I knew that I could trust Rob. He cares about his clients. He's tops.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested. Eddie's!
See life better with perfect, clear, natural vision from King LASIK.
Being a former professional athlete, I still love staying active. From paddleboarding, snowboarding, even playing with the kids, everything was such a hassle dealing with glasses and contacts. I'm so grateful to Dr. King and King LASIK. It's amazing how much better I see life.
I'm Dr. Joseph King. Let's free your eyes from the hassle of glasses and dirty contacts.
Schedule your free consult at kinglasik.com. King LASIK. See life better.
Olympic Hot Tub is proud to feature hot spring spas, relaxing, healthy saltwater soaking, and hydro massage for your home. Information about unleashing your best self at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
All right, welcome back to the Top Step and welcome to the San Juan Seltzer interview. I am here with one of my good mates in the game, Liam Hendriks. Liam, how are we doing?
Good, mate. Yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm just going to get the awkwardness right off the bat out of the way here. Dude, we are sitting here, Fenway Park. I talked to you about this morning. You kind of got a little bit cringy around me, but I don't care. We're sitting here at Fenway Park. We're both Aussies, right? You've had this amazing career. You've done it all, and you've been through a lot. Does this ever get old, dude?
It did for a little bit because it just got out of complacency. You don't understand how lucky you are to come out here every day. And I've been doing some meet and greets with some cancer patients over the last couple of years, and just the look on people's faces, especially when, especially here, I open up the ropes and I make sure every group I get out here, they touch the grass.
Right.
Because that's something just different. So it's brought your love back to being how lucky we are to be on the field every day. We come out here, the sun's shining. Yeah. Otherwise, it was snowing last week, but it's fantastic. That little bit of complacency for a couple of years in there where you get that little bit of entitlement in you, and then.
When did that happen? Like when you say you felt a little bit complacent, was that before you went through the cancer stuff?
No, I always say guys get complacent and entitled when they go through arbitration. First 3 years, you kind of this is cool, I'm in the big leagues. Then you go through those years where you start making a little bit of money, you think you've earned things, you think you deserve things. And then you start getting a little bit into your own head, you start getting a little bit elitist, and then once you get to free agency, it's you understand, you've been through the ringer. It's what I always say, it's like clubbies inside. You can tell what age group people are in by the way they treat clubbies.
That's a good way to. Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to put it. And so, do you feel like did the game humble you a little bit in that regard, where you didn't start not taking things for granted?
Yeah. So I got DFA'd after in 2018. So I debuted in 11, got DFA'd in 18 for the 5th time, and that was the one that kind of you took a step back, because at that point I was like, well, why am I not pitching the 7th or the 8th or the 9th? I think I've been around long enough. I deserve that.
Right.
Truth be told, I hadn't pitched well enough to deserve that. I hadn't earned that right. And so getting sent down and DFA'd and then off the roster and in AAA, and you kind of, I fell back in love with the game. I fell back in love with the fact of, no, I need to make sure I go out and earn the next day, earn every outing. And I've kept that with me ever since.
Well, what about going way back, right? We're both from Australia, across another ocean to where all this happens. Do you ever think back, and do you ever get any of the imposter syndrome? Do you ever get that feeling how did I end up here?
I still don't think I deserve to be here. I mean, they the veteran Hendriks is back. I'm I don't feel like a veteran. I've been tricking people the entire time. At some point, the other shoe's going to drop, and I'm just going to be everyone's going to realize who I am.
Is that an Australian thing? Do you think?
A little bit. I think it's just an athlete thing in general.
Yeah.
And I think guys need to have that.
Everyone deals with that, though, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's a positive, because if you ever feel like you deserve it, you start generally doing less work. Yeah. You don't put in those little extra bits. Like for me, I don't go out in long toss. I don't do a flat ground. I'm like, oh no, I'll be good tonight. I'll figure it out. Where it's no, you realize that the reason guys have stayed around so long is because they've put in that extra effort every single day.
Right. Now, the situation you're in now, I got a chance to see you throw a couple times now since we've been sitting here chatting, and you're back. It's been a long road back, and I'm not talking about, we can go back to a situation where you dealt with the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 4, right?
Yep.
You had that, which was
not fun.
That was wild. You come back from that, and right after that, blow your arm out.
Well, during the rehab process, I blow out, and then I refuse to not come back.
Hang on. So let's get this clear. So you knew that you had something.
Didn't know that it was gone, but I knew something was wrong because it just hurt every time I did anything. So my first 2 rehabs. So I had my bone marrow biopsy to fully medically clear me, and that was on April 21st. On April
2023. Yeah.
On April 23rd, I threw a bullpen. And then straight after that, I was in a live BP. I had sim games in Arizona Complex League. So I had 2 games in there. It was pretty much 6 to 7 every time. Feeling great. Balls coming out good. Get back to Chicago when I was with the White Sox. Get back to Chicago. Day 1, day 2, great. Day 3, something's a little iffy.
Yeah, right.
And then ever since then, I couldn't get rid of that feeling. So something was gone.
But was something iffy before you pitched your first game?
Oh yeah, that was before my rehab assignment.
So did you feel like there was this, because there's this big build-up for you coming back and you've overcome cancer, right? Did you feel like, not an obligation, but a little bit of pressure to say, I need to get back, or you were just dying to get back?
I was dying to get back. It wasn't for anybody else other than myself.
Okay.
Mentally, I needed to get back, and so luckily I was able to get back. It wasn't necessarily pretty. I was able to kind of get through a couple of those outings pretty well. I had 5 games in 10 days, so that was another thing I liked. I didn't get babied into it, which is great. But yeah, it was gone at that point.
But in those 5 games, every time you got off the mound, you're like, yeah, something's not right.
Oh yeah. My last outing, I was 92, 93.
Oh my.
And previously it was 6, 7, 8. But between that and then, yeah, it was I refused to not get back. I pulled myself from my rehab assignment. So I could go back to Chicago through more live BPs rather than actual rehab games in Chicago, and then came back after that.
Do you feel like the cancer treatment made you weaker or messed with the ramp up to throw?
I guarantee it. I threw more bullpens than anybody else, so it's not okay. It wasn't a work thing. I think the chemo running through your veins a little bit, I think it just weakens everything. Right. So for me, it was the reason. I've had a tear in my elbow since diagnosed with a tear in my elbow since 2008.
Right.
And so I've had it in there. So I think I was just strong enough all around it that with the chemo, I think it just kind of knocked down the things that were keeping it together.
Right.
And then, I think that way, and it probably got rid of some of the inflammation that was keeping my stuff together as well.
Hey mates, welcome back to The Top Step. This segment is proudly brought to you by Olympic Hot Tub, a daily soak in a saltwater hot spring spa, a swim in an endless pool swim spa, or a therapeutic session in a Tylo sauna are ways that Olympic Hot Tub can help you feel, live, and be better. We're about to get ours very soon. I'm very excited. It's coming soon. So start today at olympichottub.com, just like I did. Better you, better life. All right. Let's get back to Fenway Park and back to Liam Hendriks. I get asked all the time about the arm injuries, especially last year, right? Whether it's a big name guy or someone in A-ball, Tommy Johns and arm injuries have just kind of, on the surface, and correct me if I'm wrong here, have just kind of ran rampant into to a place where guys are blowing out way more. TJs, you've just been through it. Why is that? Why do you think?
Well, I've had the same thing with talking to surgeons. It's like, yeah, he goes, I've done more like this year this time than any other year in history. And this is one of the guys who does elbows for almost everybody. And he puts it down to a lot of different things. Like, it's not just a one singular moment. It's not like it's just the pitch clock or it's just guys chasing velo or guys trying to spin it. It's a matter of all three of them. Right. So you're trying to spin the ball as hard as you can because at the end of the day, performance is what's going to keep you around. And then it's trying to chase that velo and then not having the recovery time that we used to have in between, whether it just be an extra 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We had a guy who, when he pitched on 13 seconds in between pitches, was like a good 2 miles an hour harder with better life, better stuff than he was at 10 seconds post-pitch. So that 3-second mode of like just changed his entire outing. And it was getting him close to that every single time. That was, and now with the pitch clock, there's no, especially with pitches, we don't get a chance to step off. The hitter can call time, but we can't do anything.
I think too, the other thing, we talked about this as well, like organizations look at it and say, you know what, all right, if you want to compete at this level, this is kind of the standard now. So it's like, you just go all in and it's on you. Like, in other words, and guys too, players, you look at players and go, you know what, hey, I'm willing to blow out here. If I can hit triple digits and get a chance to pitch in the show, if I'm in AA,
yep.
What do you think I'm going to do?
The guys who can consistently get into 75 games a year, it doesn't matter as much anymore. Like, it's great if you can, but you know what we value more is if you give us 45 games of your top tier performance rather than, you know what,
right.
If you can give us 45 of that, then 30 of mediocre ones where you can get through, eat up some innings and all that sort of stuff, that's gone out the wayside. It's like back in the day when they stopped paying old guys because it was like, oh, well, why would we pay you a couple $1 million when we can pay this rookie who's going to give us more than half of what you can do for less than half of the cost.
And then it's just next guy out, blow out.
And it's like options come into it huge, especially with the way the bullpen's now. We're on a pitch restriction. There's no 40 guys up in September, so it's like guys are in and out all the time, and it's based upon usage.
Do you feel like, is there anything MLB could do to alleviate some of the health issues, or make it a little bit different where you do value guys who throw 75 games out of the bullpen?
It's hard to say. I think, look, for me, I think they need to be able to give pitchers a chance to step off per at bat. That's one thing that needs to happen. I think it's just giving us an extra chance to step off, gather ourselves, especially if we've got a 10-pitch at bat. They called time at the start of the at bat.
Right.
Well, they've probably swung at 6 of those or 7 of those, obviously, and at the very minimum. And so they're able to swing, take a couple steps off. Well, we're trying to get the ball, make sure the grips are right, make sure the ball's not tacky and slick and all that sort of stuff. And that's another thing potentially is adding some sort of tack to the ball, so that way we're not gripping it. It's not a cue ball, because if you get a cue ball that's dusty, which happens quite often, you have to grip it more. And when you grip it more, it puts more stress on everything else.
Yeah, man, you don't think about that too, especially like just the step off, extra breath, get the heart rate down a little bit as well.
Well, that's like when I first used the pitch clock in 2018, when I was in my banishment period. That was, you could step off, like, oh, we had the pitch clock, but you just step off, it would reset. Having that ability was huge because, the pitch clock was a little bit longer, but you had an opportunity to be like, I need an extra couple minutes. And there's ways around it where they're like, oh, you throw out the ball, or like, it's up to umpire discretion. Generally, they're pretty good with it. They're not trying to screw you.
Yeah.
But if it keeps happening, you keep doing it all the time, they're going to get annoyed and they're going to get onto it and they're going to deny it.
Hey, switching gears here, Red Sox, you signed with them while you were still recovering from TJ.
Yeah.
So you go from the White Sox, you're a free agent, sign with them, knowing that you can't pitch until the end of the year. But you said something. You said you were kind of brought in because it's also the element of being a clubhouse guy / character guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the theory behind it on my eyes. I think I've lived up to that thing with talking to AC and Breslow and Tech and guys like that they like the way I handle things in the clubhouse, whether it be keeping it loose, whether it be getting on some guys if they're stepping out of line a little bit, or just that veteran presence where guys can lean on.
Do you feel like the clubhouse has changed since you came up in 2011, right? And you hear this all the time, man. Like, I talk to guys who, they get deep in the playoffs or to a World Series, And I'm like, you start asking questions like, we had the best clubhouse.
Yeah.
Oh man, our team, like, our clubhouse was ridiculous. You hear that all the time. Obviously, you can't put that on paper, right? What makes a good clubhouse?
For me, it's the ability for everybody to rag on each other without getting butthurt or offended.
Right, okay.
So being able to kind of rib guys and then they be able to rib you back, being able to give it and take it and all that sort of stuff, I think that's one big thing that's huge. This clubhouse is fantastic with that. Like, we got a bunch of guys in there that...
Even the young guys?
Oh, even the young guys.
Yeah.
Even the young guys. I mean, that's the thing. They've been brought up, and we've had some older guys in AAA that have kind of bring them along, whether they come up to big league camp, whether they're in big league camp. It's the same sort of vibe,
Right.
and that's such a huge thing because, as you said, like the guys that get deep in the playoffs, it's always, we had a good clubhouse. You don't hear too many people say, we had a terrible clubhouse and we won.
Our club was terrible, yeah.
Yeah,
our clubhouse was terrible, but
exactly.
we figured it out.
Exactly, because you know how it is when you come to the park and have fun. You're going to play better. It's going to be looser. You're going to be able to enjoy it. You're going to be like, oh crap, I missed that play. Okay, this guy's got my back. Where if you're just a miserable team where it's like everyone's ragging on each other,
right,
you'll end up like, I got to make this play or else because no one else will do it.
You came into this team last year. Alex Bregman signed this year. You mentioned something that you, him, a couple other guys hang out in the clubhouse for a while after the game.
Some of the older guys stick around. It's like, you remember back in the day, it was everyone would hang out and whether they'd have a couple of beers or just sitting around like drinking Gatorades or a couple sherbets or whatever.
I had veterans say, hey, listen, if we lose, don't just take off.
Yeah.
It's a bad look.
Still a bad look.
But so if you guys are sitting around, what are you and Bregman talking about?
He's a baseball tragic.
Okay.
For anyone who's American,
so that's legitimate.
Yeah, he's a baseball stat head rat. Like, he soaks it all up, he absorbs it all, and he's always looking for an edge. And that's it's been pivotal in what we've been able to do as a team so far. It's like his insights on a lot of things have been insane.
Olympic Hot Tub is proud to feature endless pools, swim spas designed for swimming, staying fit, and entertaining at home year-round. More information about unlocking your potential at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
See life better with perfect, clear, natural vision from King LASIK.
Being a former professional athlete, I still love staying active. From paddleboarding, snowboarding, even playing with the kids, everything was such a hassle dealing with glasses and contacts. I'm so grateful to Dr. King and King LASIK. It's amazing how much better I see life.
I'm Dr. Joseph King. Let's free your eyes from the hassle of glasses and dirty contacts.
Schedule your free consult at kinglasik.com. King LASIK. See life better.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Cindy, who was T-boned by a truck.
I was stopped in a left turn lane. A big black truck slammed into my left side. I called Warrior Injury Law, and I was very pleased. They really do care about you, and they care about your situation. I knew that I could trust Rob. He cares about his clients. He's tops.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested. Eddie's!
Olympic Hot Tub is proud to feature hot spring spas, relaxing, healthy saltwater soaking, and hydro massage for your home. Information about unleashing your best self at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Top Step is presented by Warrior Injury Law. If you're injured, contact attorney Rob Iddens at 253-WARRIOR. Battle tested. All right, let's get back to Fenway Park and back to Liam Hendriks. All right, now listen, I've kept you for too long. We do have a segment called How to Speak Australian, brought to you by the Kangaroo and Kiwi. Now, I can't quiz you on Australia, right? Unless we do stuff.
Well, you can, because...
Unless, by the way, Liam's from Perth, which is, no one cares about Perth on the West Coast. I say that to him every time I see him. Right? Keep it on the East Coast.
Still stings.
But listen, you've given me a little gift here. I don't know if I could smash the whole packet here, but we have got these bad boys right here. They're called Tim Tams. You can get a close-up of those Tim Tams. Yeah. Now, if you've never had a Tim Tam, do yourself a favour. Where do you get these from? How many packets did you get for these?
Well, one of the clubbies has been bugging me the entire time, so how
do you know about them?
Because I got a gift package last year and made sure to bring some out.
Right.
So I brought 16 boxes.
I love it.
So I have four boxes of 4 variety packs. So
do you eat these anymore, or are you too athletic?
Oh, yeah. I have to eat them here because I'm not allowed them in the house. Because I get chunky.
I'm getting homesick. Yeah, I get chunky too. Everyone knows that. But look, I'm going to give a little free advertising for Tim Tams, mate. I'm telling you, rip into these.
Anything Arnott's makes is delicious.
Yeah, now Arnott's, Aussie brand, I'm sure you can get
Arnott's
these from
shapes.
Amazon, and they come in 2 hours, I'm sure. But look, you have to get 15 packs for the whole clubhouse, but just get yourself a pack. Get the dark ones too, the dark chocolate ones.
You can find them on Amazon. The caramel ones are they went quickly, the caramel ones. Caramel ones are already gone. I got them yesterday.
These are just the old stock standard classics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. But this is How to Speak Australian, brought to you by the Kangaroo and Kiwi. Massive thanks for Liam. We're not quizzing this week. We're just going straight into,
Also,
into
you're
the Tim Tams.
talking to the first and only ever Australian to play for the Boston Red Sox.
How about that? First ever. You feel pretty good about that?
Oh, yeah.
He had to let me know.
Yeah,
by the
there's
way.
only 3 clubs that haven't had one so
You
far.
don't think I already knew? Who were the other teams?
The Cubs, the Pirates, and technically the Nationals.
The Cubs?
But like,
Pirates?
you can't Montreal or no.
Well, how about that? All right, this is the Australian edition of the Top Step. The one and only Boston Red Sox, Liam Hendriks. By the way, I already knew that. It says on the stat sheet anyway. I see all that stuff anyway. Liam, it's been fun, mate. Always good to catch up. Thank you. All right, mates, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you go follow the Top Step at the Top Step TV, Instagram, on X, and go subscribe over at YouTube. That's where you get the extended interviews, all the extra content, all my breakdowns over at YouTube. Special thanks to Liam Hendriks, of course, Warrior Injury Law, King Lasik, San Juan Seltzer, Kangaroo and Kiwi, Olympic Hot Tub, and of course, you for joining me on the Top Step. We'll see you next week.